Welcome to The Better Life with Dr. Mariane Pinkston. Join Dr. Pinkston today as she teaches you how an integrative approach to health, combining holistic and contemporary medical information, can lead you to the better life. And now, here's your host, Dr. Mariane Pinkston.
Hello there, I am Dr. Mariane Pinkston, and welcome to Better Life TV. I am here with Mr. David Anderson is my guest today that I'm so pleased to have on. So look at this handsome man over here, these glasses. I've never seen glasses. I came around the corner, I'm like, who are you? No, but I'm so glad to have you on today. Mr. Anderson is with Divine Equality and also running for a campaign for a congressional seat. You said the 21st district, right?
Yes, ma'am, the 21st.
Yeah, so we're proud of that. You've got a lot of things going on, and so welcome aboard. I'm glad to have you.
Thank you so much for having me today.
You're very welcome. So I know some of the things that you're passionate about, I'm passionate about, and that is a lot of medical issues. But, you know, kind of before we go that direction, and I'll quickly say too, anybody who wants to find any information on you or me or the show, drpbetterlife.com is where you can find all the YouTube and iTunes and links and everything, Google Play, anything. I'm everywhere. That's a good thing, could be a bad thing. I don't know. But it can be found there. I'll have all my information, but all of Mr. Anderson's information there as well, so you can figure out what's going on with him. But please tell me what Divine Equality is and what else you're up to.
All right. So Divine Equality is a 501c3 nonprofit. It's mainly based out of the east side of San Antonio, Texas. We started off by doing clothes drives and food drives. But we picked up by doing rent assistance, helping people find apartments, doing the eviction moratorium.
Wow.
So right now, we just pretty much just focusing on just helping the community. We're trying to branch out. Right now, I'm working on getting a branch in California.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm trying to get Compton, California. It's going to be my next branch.
Wow.
And we're just taking it from there.
That is absolutely beautiful. How long have you been doing that?
9 months.
9 months. So you just got are you originally from San Antonio?
Oh, born and raised here on the east side.
On the east side, and that's where your heart is and why you're doing what you're doing.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, we really appreciate everything you do because I've watched you. I've seen you do a lot of great things, and we're very, very happy you're out there doing that. So when I talk about kind of the medical issues, I know that's something very important to you and me as well. What are some of the things that you see that are wrong out there that we need to, hopefully take control of?
Health insurance.
Right.
And a lot of people don't got the proper medical care.
Right.
Proper medical insurance.
Absolutely.
Because in 2020, I broke my leg twice. And when I was sitting in the hospital, sitting in the ER, waiting for them to come see me, I actually seen them wrap people up and send them to the county hospital just because they don't got medical insurance.
Oh, wow.
And they just said nobody should be treated like that.
Yeah, true. Now that is a huge problem. I know, especially through COVID, I've seen a lot of people who, they'll come in and need a refill on something, their blood pressure is skyrocketing. And I'm like, why is your blood pressure so high? Well, I lost my job with COVID. I lost my insurance. I just can't afford to go to the doctor. And it's very, very difficult for people these days. If you can't work, you can't eat. You can't, you can't pay a doctor to do that. And with health insurance, it's very difficult to get pre-existing conditions and, all these factors. So, you're right. It is very, very difficult.
Yeah. It's just something that we overlook in this community, in society also. They think just because somebody has a good job, they automatically got health insurance. In most of the cases, most people don't even sign up for the health insurance their job is offering because it's too high.
It is. It's too much. So I know, take me for instance. Okay, I'm a doctor, right? I'm supposed to be able to afford anything I want. Yeah. I actually went about 4 or 5 years without health insurance because just for me, I have rheumatoid arthritis. Just for me, it was $1,000 a month. And I'm sorry, I cannot do that. I've got 2 kids in college and I run my own practice. So I'm not one of these big, hospital systems and I can't offer insurance to myself, let alone my employees. So no, I don't make a lot of money to do that. And I can't imagine somebody who's not running their own business, and a doctor or whatever, being able to afford $1,000 a month just to take care of themselves. I thought it was cheaper just to go without, honestly. So, yeah.
Hey, I know it was cheaper to go without when they were doing them tax fines for people that didn't have it.
Sure.
Yeah, because it was like $695 for everybody that didn't have insurance for the year.
How about that?
And And they just said, and that was cheaper because the insurance might have cost you $1,000 or $2,000 a year.
Right.
I'd rather just pay the $695 and just get it over with.
You know what, though? Even with that, though, if you look at the insurance industry, just because you have insurance doesn't mean that everything's covered. You know, most of the time you pay, I know I pay $1,000, but at the same time, I've got to meet $2,000 out of my pocket, you know, in expenses before I can even get an antibiotic covered, you know, or you know, start to get any tests done or anything. So really, that's not coverage. That's, I'm trying to think of a good word. Help me out. But no, that's really not, I think it's not ideal. Let's just say that nicely. Not ideal. Well, I know that there's got to be, you know, some good solutions, and hopefully we're going to find those things. But you also had mentioned about healthcare out in the rural communities out here. So what do you see?
So this past weekend, I was driving around the Texas Hill countries, like that Kerrville, Bernie, Fredericksburg area, and I realized most of the times, it's no hospitals out there. They got clinics. They might have like little small clinics or like little small hospitals, but it's no main trauma clinic out there. Right. So if you really get hurt out there, you have to hope that it's a helicopter to fly you into San Antonio. And
it's not being used somewhere else because there's not a whole lot of them.
That is true.
Yeah.
And if you better hope that clinic can save you while they're waiting on the helicopter to come pick you up.
Well, the funding out there is not wonderful. I mean, I know that there's a lot of times where funding is I remember in medical school, and this was yesterday, right? So I'm only 29, so it was yesterday. But I remember being in the ER working and you know, as a student. And I remember them bringing a couple in that had been in a terrible accident on I-10 out close to Kerrville. And there is a hospital system out there, but, you know, there wasn't much they could do. They flew out to go get them. But by the time the lady had arrived, you know, they were wheeling them down. They were doing CPR on her. By the time she got here, she had passed. And they brought her in a helicopter as fast as possible, but, you know, they're just not equipped well on the, you know, for trauma, mainly, I think is what we're talking about, out in the hill country for that. And so, you know, it was very difficult to watch those things, and I know that happens all the time. I had my sister who was in a major car accident once many years ago, who was in a small clinic, you know, trying to be, you know, patched together. Very difficult to access care. You're very, very right.
Yeah.
So, well, if the hospital systems and whatnot out there do they receive much funding really? What is the funding like as far as the hill country and rural areas?
The funding is scarce because it goes off of your city's population, also your county's population. And the county commissioners, they give them like limited funding, and most of the time the funding goes to like schools, roads, to build up the community.
Sure.
And they don't really go to the hospital systems.
Gotcha. Wow, I didn't realize that. Well, some of these counties, you know, their county seat is a town of 3,000, so...
You ain't gonna get that much.
Right.
It's high school's bigger than that.
Well, even the high school that's in these counties are bigger than that because there's 6 counties that come to that high school, right?
Yeah.
I've seen that. So I didn't realize that as far as funding goes out there. You know, when I was in school, I remember that they tried to funnel us into the rural population to get us to go out there and practice. You know, there was a lot of incentives for doctors to go out and practice, but I don't remember there being many incentives about hospitals going out there. I can go open a clinic, but, you know, and if I'm the only doctor in a county seat of 3,000 and 6 counties are coming to me for medical care, that's pretty tough.
Yeah, that's really
understatement.
Yeah, you be real popular though.
Right?
Everybody know you.
Yeah. Well, that's true. I remember my doctor when I came from a town of 1,600, and I remember my doctor lived 2 doors down from us, and you know he was just the guy in the community. He was at every football game. We knew him, and wonderful. But he worked very hard.
Yeah.
He worked very hard. So, well, is there anything else that you see medical care wise, insurance and hospitals and things like that? Is there anything else that you see that is that would be helpful for, issue wise, or I don't know that there's so many different things you could.
Like I said, it's a lot of topics. Like, is this variety of topics I can just go in on.
I'm sure. Well, tell me a little bit more about Divine Equality too. So I thought it was very interesting that you are, working on the East Side. You said something that's interesting to me. I had one of the constables, Bexar County constables, on, and she said that they are active in trying to build a force where they help with evictions. And she said, there are so many people out there who are going through so much. When you knock on that door, you don't, and you look into the eyes of somebody who opens the door, you don't know what they're going through. And so, I'm sure you see a lot of those types of issues. What's one of the biggest things that you see that could use assistance on the East Side?
It's pretty much rent assistance. A lot of people, their pride gets in their way and they don't want to ask for help.
Right.
And by the time they do ask for help, you like $10,000 to $12,000 in the hole, and the state or the city ain't gonna pay that much. But if you would have came to us when you was like 2 or 3 months behind, then the city would have helped.
Right.
But like if you go like a year, because I know people that haven't paid rent since COVID started.
Yeah.
And I want to help them, but you should have came earlier.
Right. Exactly. Is there anything that they can do at all?
All we can do for you is just apply and just hope the state pays for it.
What's the application process like?
It's real simple.
Is it?
Yeah, it's real simple. It's just like Social Security number, first name, last name, income, where you work at, how much you're behind on rent. Then they ask you how much you're behind on CPS, then your internet bills and your phone bills. And then after you do all that, just upload it up to the system, and they'll call you if you got approved or not.
Wow. What is there an internet site for that?
Internet site.
What is that? Do you remember offhand?
I don't remember offhand.
If you don't, give that to me, and I'll put that on the site for anybody, because I know a lot of...
because there's 2 of them. Bexar County does one just for Bexar County residents, and the state of Texas does one for Texas residents.
Gotcha. So it's state and county.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything city-wise that you know of, or... Might be something privatized.
The city used to have one, but I know the city's is up in like 7-8 days.
Right. Yeah. We're starting to see things roll to an end here.
Yeah, the city's ended there real fast.
Yeah. Well, and COVID's not quite gone yet, so we are seeing things come to an end for people. I've seen a lot of devastation from COVID for people. They say up to 20% of, now I think 30% of small businesses have closed because of COVID and all that we've gone through. I know my business has almost closed 3 times. I'm a doctor, so you would think that's like job security. Yeah. No, not always, especially when you're the lone wolf out there by yourself and not, backed by a corporation or something, which I refuse. But the, COVID has been very devastating for people. People have lost their jobs, they've lost their insurance, they've lost their ability to pay for their rent and their needs. And so we're going to see a lot of fallout, I think, in the future for what that's going to create. So is there anything else? I think you've probably got a wealth of knowledge on internet sites and things like that, if people can go and apply for or things.
Oh, yeah, I got if you're over there towards the Stone Oak area, I got a friend called Joel. He runs JCI, and they just opened up their doors to do clothing drives. And they open 24 hours a day. You can go in there anytime of the night or day, and just walk in the clothing closet and pick out anything you want.
That's amazing.
Then I know another one called Big Mama Safe House. They're on the east side. They're planning Thanksgiving in the park this year. Okay. And they're making a big Thanksgiving meal, and anybody can just go up there and grab a plate, no questions asked.
That is amazing. Yeah. Wow. Well, I'm going to give you some homework. So give me some of these sites and stuff, because this would be great information for the community. We could do something social media or put it on the website or whatnot, and get some of these community links out, because I think it's very valuable. I've just noticed, as I've spoken with you over the last several months and gotten to know you, you are a wealth of knowledge. It's actually, I'm just blown away. You are a wealth of knowledge as far as all of, the facts and figures behind. So it's almost like a genius savant, honestly. It's all these facts and figures about funding and where things come from and where it's going and who's involved. And again, the needs of the communities and people who are doing things. And so many people, you're everywhere. It's just, I've really been very impressed. So that's why I wanted to have you on today, because I really thought, that, that people ought to be able to tap into your knowledge and the things that you are doing. So I'm going to spend just a second because we're going to take a break here in just a second.
Right.
And you think this went fast, and the next 7 minutes are going to go really fast. But just to tell you a little bit about where I am here in town, I am out at Shanefield Road at 10865 Shanefield Road. That's 1604 and Shanefield, kind of out there toward Claver. Everybody knows about the Exxon and the McDonald's. That's out there. Nobody knows what Shanefield is. So if everybody on the radio now is going, oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about now. So my number out there is 210-698-7825. And the reason I bring it up is because I do see patients who do not have insurance, and I do not make it expensive. If you do not have insurance, you do have access to care. Please let us know. So 210-698-7825. But as far as the show, you can follow my information from that on the show site too. So drpbetterlife.com, and I'm going to have Mr. David Anderson's information on there. Many things about divine equality, about all the websites and things that we've talked about now, but also about his campaign because he is running. So we want him to have some information out about that and have you read about it as well. And so we are going to take a short break and come back on the flip side and talk a little bit more about some medical funding and other issues, east side of San Antonio represent, and be right back. Thank you. Welcome back. I am with Mr. David Anderson. He's on Facebook as David Anderson Jr., but that is very distinguished and lovely. And so I'm absolutely thrilled to have him on the show today. Very, very intelligent person here who is working on a lot of community efforts in San Antonio, especially concentrating on the east side of San Antonio, where he's from, but also running for Congress in the, I keep wanting to say 21st or 22nd district. I'm so sorry, David. So 21st, right? 21st district. Hello, Dr. Pinkston, please. So, but we are talking today about a lot of, kind of medically driven topics and things for the community and whatnot. And you kind of wanted to push the hot button today with COVID.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's important because this is what we're dealing with right now.
Oh, yeah, it's very important.
Sure. Well, what's your drive on COVID? Public health, I think you mentioned.
The one thing that catches me off guard about COVID is that it's still killing people, but people still ain't wearing masks.
Right.
I've been to so many events, so many places, everywhere, even in stores at HEB, Walmart, and people just walking around coughing, sneezing, and it's like it's normal.
Right.
But then when they go to the hospitals, they be the first people complaining about, why can't you save my life, or where's the doctors at?
Isn't that true?
Or where the bears at? Yeah. But if you don't wear a mask, you wouldn't be here.
Well, there's been a lot of controversy, and that is a very hot topic. There's a lot of controversy about whether the masks even work or not. First of all, nobody wants to be mandated on anything, right? I understand that. That's fine. I don't want to be mandated to do anything either. But as a community service, as a consideration for my fellow man, and being a doctor or whatnot, even at the clinic, we demand people wear the mask and whatnot. There's a lot of people that, I think the majority of people in society have, the ability to be very healthy and do very well and don't have to wear things, but they don't realize that they're around a lot of people who can't and need to benefit. No, it doesn't cover it completely and prevent it completely. Oh, yeah. And it's not a perfect science at all. No, but it's something, right? It's something, at least. Some
kind of barrier to protect us.
Right? A little bit, right?
A little bit, because I really don't think the masks work. But like I said, I'll still wear it in public just to protect somebody else.
Right. Well, I think if you combine your resources, that's why they have you wear the mask, stand 6 feet apart. And it's very difficult because, we're used to, hello, sir, grab a hand and hug. And so it makes it very difficult for people to feel very comfortable in their world. And it's hard. It was hard for us to adopt seatbelts. It was hard for us to stop smoking in public. It's, all these issues. It's difficult. We got to take care of each other a little bit. And even if it's not a perfect science, just a few little things, I think, right? Is that how you feel about it?
Yeah, that's how I feel about it. Like, it's just the little things that matter.
Right.
Just because if I go somewhere and I might not want to wear it, I will just put it on to make everybody around me feel safe and better.
Right.
Because sometimes no matter, sometimes it's about sacrificing your happiness to make other people happy.
Right. And
a lot of people don't understand that.
It's a community, right? It's a community thought. I think, so I agree with you. I think sometimes in America, we tend to think that, we are, us. This is about me. And they forget that there is a community of people that we have to be concerned about each other. I don't, no matter where you are in the political realm or how you feel about things, we are still a community of different opinions. We have to get along and do well and take care of each other and be healthy because we all want the same thing, and that's health, security, and happiness, right? So, I don't know. I'm talking for him. You need to tell me that.
And the biggest thing that concerns me is, you're a doctor, you might know this. Kids still can't get the vaccine, right? They
can now. Yes, it has just recently been released that children can. So we still can't go into the very deep young ages. But you know what? Those really, really, really youthful are really not affected by COVID. Kind of that 2 and under area are not too affected. There's some, but they have pretty decent immune systems, believe it or not.
What about people that can't get the vaccine? I got somebody that works on my staff. He can't get the vaccine.
Why can't he?
Allergic to honey.
Oh, got you. So for that.
He can't get it.
And
He had COVID 3 times already.
Oh, my gosh.
I feel
Tell him not to play the lottery and go to Vegas. It is not worth it. COVID. Poor thing. Yeah. Oh, my gosh. But he survived, and that's good. Survived. So that's good.
He said it feels like a common cold now. I'm like, if you have it about a third time, it's going to feel like a common cold.
Well, maybe there's some immunity. And I think as a public, we eventually will be able to build up our immunity that way if we meet it. The challenge is that it changes it mutates. So it changes its form. And our fear right now is that it's going to get more and more virulent. It's going to get more aggressive. And so we're just hoping that enough people vaccinate. And it's really not truly, this is a huge topic, but it's really not truly a vaccine. A vaccine eradicates a disease. And we can't. It's like a flu immunization. And so we're just trying to protect enough people in order to do it. So there are people who can't. And the more people get it, the more we protect the people who can't.
So at the end of the day, do you see it being an endemic then?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think that's kind of where
it's going to be something you got to live with, like the common cold.
Absolutely, unfortunately, yes. And the interesting thing is that Corona has been around forever. Corona has been a virus that we've had. It's just COVID-19 is a special version of Corona. It was built in a lab somewhere and very virulent. When it escaped, then had quote unquote escaped. Then that is where it became a very powerful tool for whatever it is, and I won't go there. But it's here, regardless of what you believe. It is here, and we are going to have to deal with it on a very, very long course. So, wow.
Yeah, just something we got to deal with.
I know. Well, here we are. We will. Well, I told you that 7 was going to go very fast, and so here we are. Just a short term left. Is there anything else is there websites or anything that you would like to have?
Yes. For my nonprofit, you can go to divineequality.org. And for my campaign, you can go to davidandersonforcongress.com.
That's great. So these sites will be on my site, and I'll make sure that you, represent it very well at drpbetterlife.com. Definitely want people to go and check out some information on David Anderson, because got a lot of great things going in the community, got a lot of things going running, and we're very proud of him. So, and I am very thankful to have you on my show today. I appreciate your presence, and
thank you for having me.
You're very welcome, and hope to do it again. And I hope all of you have a wonderful week out there. Thank you.